Sometimes when you do projects, they don't always pan out the way you planned. So I was looking to cover the Corvette center console and bezel with some suede. Came out great as I was going up to here, but as it started curving up, it got more difficult. And that probably explains why I'm not an interior expert, but it probably explains why, if you look in professionally done vehicles, that it's cutting sections with stitching wherever the curves are at. So that makes a lot of sense as to why my little project here failed. Now, when you do projects, I think maybe it's best to show those failures instead of always showing what successes you have. So others can benefit from that as well. There were some cracks also that had formed in the plastic. So what I just did here, grab this right here. Got some JB Weld. I use this for other parts because this plastic is real thin. So I went ahead and glued that back together. And this stuff works very solidly. I used it on the glove box, well, more the center console storage bin. The little tabs that go inside that hold the hinge to the plastic, that stuff broke. And it held it together really well. It opens up and closes no problem. So what I did was I took that stuff and I kind of filled in these cracks with it, which I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to sand it down. I'm going to sand down the whole thing, just get it like real nice and cleaned up, because there was a lot of glue that was stuck on there. This glue is the bomb though. I'm going to tell you something. For me not to be able to get it off very easily tells me that'll last for years if you are looking to upholster your vehicle. And then I went and bought some of this vinyl and fabric specialty coating, Duplicolor. This stuff works great. So I did like a little test area here at first, which I ended up sanding over it. So I'm gonna like just sand it down, get it pretty smooth, and just shoot it down with this paint here. Get that all nice and cleaned up. The C5 Corvettes, they really did not come with great interiors, which they've been bashed for years, which GM is finally taking it to a new level with those C8s. Even the C7s were a pretty big upgrade, but even those interiors were still not great as far as the plastic quality. Pretty chintzy. I feel usually people on YouTube, when they do a project, they always show the success of what they've done. I'm just here to show you my failure. Maybe you can benefit and learn from that. If you want it wrapped, you better learn to sew or shell out some money to take it to an upholstery shop. Okay, I'm about to give this a couple coats of paint here. So what I did was I tried to fill in those cracks as best as I could and sanded it all down. Then I wiped it down with brake cleaner on a paper towel to get off any dust, which, I mean, in retrospect, I probably should have washed it with water, but it's fine. So just using the Duplicolor vinyl fabric. Give us a couple coats here. I'll show you how it comes out. All right, after each coat, I'm gonna have to bring it back inside the screened area because bugs, for some reason, are just attracted to chemicals. I don't know why. But there's the first coat. Gonna let that sit. Probably go over the cracks in the future, like that big gash there, with some other filler, and then reshoot everything. See how that goes. I'm pretty much going to call it quits on this. It's looking pretty decent. So, like I said, I was trying to wrap this whole thing in suede. And so I left the suede on these moving parts here. Access to the ashtray and cigarette lighter. And this is access into the cup holder itself. So I got her sprayed down. She's looking pretty decent for now. I mean, I might find a replacement in the future if I can find one better that didn't have those little cracks and stuff in it. Or maybe in the future, get some actual filler. Give that a good sand down, reshoot it again. That's coming out pretty decent. Alright, next thing I'm going to be working on is a 2014 Hyundai Santa Fe. The motors for the windshield wiper fluid, them things crack. So, got another one from Rock Auto. It was like $24, just shy under $24 with shipping. Ordered it about 3 days ago, and it showed up pretty quick. I think maybe the warehouse is in Tampa or something. Not sure, but I'm gonna get this thing open and show you what's up. So it looks like included is a Rock Auto magnet of some dude's sub. Windshield washer pump. I think this might also be the same thing for like Hyundai Velocitors, a couple other different cars within that time frame. I've seen a couple videos where some people were having issues with their Hyundai Velocitors too. Here's the pump. All right, here I am up in front of the vehicle. There's a little panel that you can take down. It's got these little plastic screws in there. So you remove those from that hole there, and then one on the back side, this hole here. Since I don't have enough ground clearance, I was trying to use a bucket to catch some fluid, but most of the fluid's already drained out of this thing anyway, since it was leaking. So there's just a little bit of fluid on the ground. So up underneath, I ended up removing 2 hoses, one on each side, and the harness itself. So then there's going to be that clip up top, right up in here. I'm just going to use a screwdriver to pry that out, well, pry it upwards, so I can pull this motor out, and then just put the new one in and reconnect everything. All right, this thing was really easy to pop out, no problem at all. You can see all over, it's got dried up windshield wiper fluid on it. So this thing was probably, I'm not sure exactly where it was leaking from, where it's cracked. Looks like it's kind of jacked up in here, this area. Can't really tell too much. The rest of it looks dry on the top, so it looks like it was just all, oh, there we go. Looks like that piece was separated right there. Not sure if this is showing up well on cam. Looks like it's been split right there, and that's where it might have been coming out. Yeah, because I don't see no cracks on this side. So that diameter is pretty big. I'm sure that's where it was leaking out of. Let's take a look at this one. Match up on the same side. There's no cracks, anything here. So make sure this is like the exact part. I mean, everything looks the same. It's got the 2 separators there, just like this one. It's got 3 prongs on the inside for the wire harness in the exact same spots. Because the seal diameter of this one here that came off the original, it is a little bit bigger in diameter there. So we get this put in and hope for the best. All right, instead of filling this up with windshield washer fluid, I'm just going to use water, kind of just do a leak-proof test before I go ahead and fill everything back up. So I got both those hoses connected. I'm going to connect the harness and then give it a test from the inside, make sure everything's all good. All right, let's see how the windshield wiper motor do. Oh yeah, she's spraying nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing up. So after you get it filled up, just check the bottom, make sure nothing's coming out, and you should be all good. Always check under the engine bay. Make sure you don't leave any tools or whatnot behind. You don't want stuff falling on top of that engine that can cause you some other problems. All right, got that panel back up. Screw there. I'm gonna screw there. All right, I'm not too sure about anyone else, but I am curious about how this thing works or what it looks like on the inside. So why don't we go ahead and tear this thing open? What do you say? And there goes that. Okay, looks like a little propeller. Not sure how I'm going to get this top part off. Not sure how I'm going to get this piece off. Looks a little more bonded than that bottom piece. Maybe I grab some pliers and we'll go at this. I just love trendy pliers, don't you? Got my Craftsman Made in USA Robo Griffs. So it's all spring loaded. Let's see if this thing will do it. See, I feel like this part's going to crack before anything else comes apart. Oh snap. Okay. Got a little chipboard in there, got the motor, which the motor still works. Everything is good, other than that piece that was cracked that went flying halfway across the floor. Got the little plastic housing there. Got that little propeller. Let me go grab that piece over here. Okay, here we go. And then it looks like I see 2 holes in there. So One's got to be for the suction, the other one's got to go through the other side for it to go through the tube up into the windshield, possibly. I'm not sure exactly how this works. I just wanted to pull it open, take a look inside. Okay, here's a problem. Parked the car, realized it started leaking. The problem lied with this grommet that came with that part. It doesn't seat in there well enough. I had my doubts about it from the very beginning. So I took the old grommet and put it in there. Fits nice and tight, no leaks. So if you get that part from Rock Auto, just use the original grommet. All right, I hope you enjoy those 2-for-1 videos. Doing the C5 center console, changing out the windshield wiper, washer fluid motor. It's the first rain that I've seen in a while. So this is nice. Weather's nice and cool, especially for April. Hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Leave a like, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is Chemical Spore. Out.